most important commandments of the woke religion, of wokeism. Number one, you shall not speak ill of Barack Obama. And number two, you shall not say anything positive about President Trump. Thank you so much for liking your comments and subscribing to the channel. Please share this with your friends. Smash that like button. Smash the subscription bell. Share this with everybody you know. We're trying to make sure people understand that they're not victims, that they are empowered for greatness, and all this stuff that's out here that's telling them otherwise is false and will not benefit them in the end. So please, I appreciate that. Share that. You know, when they asked Jesus what the greatest commandment was, he said to love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul. And the second was to love your neighbor as yourself. I say that because in the woke religion, there are also two commandments that are great. Number one, no one shall say nothing negative about Barack Obama. And number two, no one should say nothing positive about President Trump. Sage Steele and looks like Van Jones and some others violated this. So they had to be called on the carpet by MSNBC host Tiffany Cross.
Carlos Watson, Sage Steele, Van Jones. What do these three folks have in common? Well, they're all people who have been prompted up by wealthy or powerful white Americans, and yet we, the keepers of the culture, don't really rock with any of them like that. Now, obviously, the three of these folks are most definitely black faces. However, they are not necessarily black voices, and there's a difference. Let me explain. Take a listen to these half-witted, self-hating remarks from Sage Steele.
Barack Obama chose black and he's biracial. I'm like, well, congratulations to the president. That's his thing. I think that's fascinating considering his black dad was nowhere to be found, but his white mom and grandma raised him. But hey, you do you.
What? So that is undoubtedly a black face, whether or not she knows it, but it is most definitely not a black voice. Yet, I'm sure someone is giving themselves a big diversity pat on the back by having that modern day minstrel show, Sage Step and Fetch It, on the airwaves spewing her continued nonsense. Now, let's listen to Jeff Bezos's black friend, Van Jones, after a Donald Trump speech.
He became president of the United States in that moment.
Okay. Now, let's be clear. Van and Carlos are far from being sage, but there's certainly something to be said about wealthy and powerful white people elevating certain voices over others.
She called what Sage Steele said and did as a minstrel show and accused her of being step and fetch it. Isn't that so ironic? Because she's doing what she's accusing Sage Steele of doing. You gotta understand something about wokeism, woke religion, the woke supremacy. Blackness only matters if you subscribe to the liberal progressive ideology. That's the only time that your blackness comes into play. Did you hear what she said? She considers herself as a gatekeeper. Who made you a gatekeeper? Who anointed you the keeper of the culture? I can tell you who you think anointed you. MSNBC, the white liberals who are pulling the strings, who are giving you the money and funding you to say these things, to foster hate, to foster division. It is so funny. She said that there are black faces, but are not black voices. You're doing what you have to understand. The way Marxists, communists, socialists, the way they work, the way they control the narrative, the way they control the media. You gotta listen clearly, and you have to have a keen ear to what they're saying. Because when they speak, they are actually talking about themselves when they speak. So when she says that she's accusing Sage Steele and Van Jones of being black faces, but not black voices, she is speaking of herself. because she is being paid and she is being controlled by white liberals at MSNBC. So she is a black face, but she is not speaking for black voices, the true black voices, the traditional black voices, those who believe in traditional values, those who uphold biblical values. She is not speaking for them. She is speaking for the white liberal progressive who want to destroy this nation and are using race to do it. Wokeism, the woke religion, is all about power. They want control. They want power. They want power and they want control. And so as a black person, whenever you step outside of that lane of being progressive, liberal, lovers of Barack Obama, and a hater of President Trump, you will get accused of a number of things. The main thing you would get accused of is that you are the benefactor, that you're speaking on behalf of the white supremacists, that you make the white supremacists comfortable. That's why you have a voice. Not that you're a free thinker, not that you think, look what they've done to Kanye. They pretty much relegated Kanye to being in the crazy house because he decided to think for himself. And that's what they will do. They will disparage you. They will attack you. They will do everything they can to essentially tar and feather you so that whatever you have to say will be invalidated. They want to denigrate people to the point that no one will consider what they have to say valid. And that is the intention. Like I said, you have to listen with a keen ear to what they are saying. When they say things like this, they are actually talking about what they are looking to do and who they are. So when she calls herself the gatekeeper, she is not the gatekeeper. The white liberal progressives who are operating behind her. Funny, she made this statement on MSNBC, the most liberal progressive channel there is. You understand who's funneling the money to MSNBC? You know what the MS used to stand for is Microsoft. You know Bill Gates is liberal. Do you know the people behind Microsoft for the most part are liberal? Do you understand that? And so when she says those things, you have to understand where she's coming from and who she's speaking, who she is the mouthpiece for. They want to sow division in this country. They want to use race to sow division. So the most important commandments of the woke religion, of wokeism. Number 1, you shall not speak ill of Barack Obama. And number 2, you shall not say anything positive about President Trump. And Sage Steele violated that. And so that caused her to be accused of being a step and fetch it. That caused her to be in the crosshairs for the quote unquote gatekeepers of wokeism, of woke religion. She fell in the crosshairs because she said that. Despite what she said has truth to it, despite that. But to be a part of the woke religion, you have to deny everything that you've learned. You have to deny every biblical value that you have learned over the years. You have to cast it aside in order for, see, there is no tolerance in the woke religion and the woke supremacy. There is no tolerance. Sage Steele violated those 2 commandments. She violated those 2 commandments. And so she had to be kicked out the camp. In the eyes of the woke religion, she's considered a leper. She has leprosy because she decided to break those 2 commandments. And so they will stone her to death. There's no justice, there's no forgiveness, there's no grace, there's no mercy in the woke religion. If we were back in those times, I bet these folks would grab stones and would have stoned Sage Steele to death. They would have, and would not have felt bad about it. Because to them, just like back in the day with the Jews and the Pharisees, how they stoned Stephen, they would have done the exact same thing to Sage Steele. They would have stoned her to death because of what she said. And they're doing that, not literally, but they're doing it figuratively through social media. It's an all-out attack on her because of what she said. They will attempt to get her fired from ESPN. The pressure is on. The heat is on because she had the nerve to say that. Because she had the nerve to say something that's outside of the woke religion orthodoxy that broke those 2 commandments. You understand that? But we are not victims. We are empowered for greatness, and we will not bow the knee to woke supremacy or the woke religion. We will speak our minds freely. We're not afraid because we're not victims. We have the blood of Jesus covering us. We are not afraid because we are not victims. We are empowered for greatness.